Jesus said, "All you need to remember is to love God and love your neighbors as much as you love yourself." "But who is my neighbor?" a teacher asked. Jesus told a story to explain. One day, a Jewish man was robbed and wounded and left lying in the road. A little while later, a priest walked by, but he pretended he didn't see the injured man. Soon, another man came by. He worked at the temple, but he didn't stop either. At last, a Samaritan came down the road. His people were enemies of the Jews, but the Samaritan stopped. He got off his donkey and he gently bandaged the man's wounds. Then he put him on his donkey and walked beside him to the nearest inn. He put him to the bed and took care of him. "Now," asked Jesus, "which of these people was a good neighbor?" "The Samaritan," replied the teacher. "That's right," said Jesus. "You are all part of the same family, God's family. He wants you to be like him, like the Samaritan, loving and kind to everyone, even your enemies." So this story is often called the story of the Good Samaritan, and this is a retelling done by the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who is a religious leader and Nobel Peace Prize winner from South Africa. But the story itself comes from the book of Luke. And this story of the Good Samaritan is going to be the focal point of our VBS this year, which is the theme, "Who is my neighbor?" So our call to serve one another is one that we talk about a lot in church. It's kind of one of the focal points of what we believe it means to be called to follow in Jesus' footsteps. We believe that we are called to serve one another. And that's something that you've probably heard us talk about a lot at church. If you were with us the first day of Sunday school back in the fall, we did a whole bunch of service projects for our first day of Sunday school this year. And it came up again and again throughout the year as we learned about the Bible and the different stories in the Bible. Our 5th and 6th graders also have service as a huge part of what they do for the second half of their Sunday school year. And this year you guys got to explore the idea of homelessness and what that means for our communities and the role that we can play, each and every one of us, to kind of help those who are experiencing homelessness and to help our community address this issue. So you guys all have a bit of an idea of what service means. But this week, we're gonna dig even deeper into what that means. This week, each day, we are going to be taking apart this story that I just read for you, and we're gonna be learning more about what it means and comparing it to other verses we find in the Bible to explore what it means to serve our neighbor. And one of the main things that we're gonna be learning about is that when serving our neighbor, oftentimes you think about what you can do for someone else, right? But what's really cool about service is that oftentimes it has less to do about what you can do for others, but about what others can do for you as well. And the idea that when we walk alongside one another, side by side, and help each other out, we have so much to offer one another and to learn both ways and to care for each other both ways and to make each other feel cared for and loved. So we're going to be talking a little bit about all of this, but we're going to be expanding our neighborhood a little bit. So sometimes you might think of your neighborhood as the area around your house, maybe your hometown, maybe even your state. But what's really exciting about this particular VBS curriculum is that we are going to be looking at what it means to serve our neighbors all around the globe. And the ELCA, or the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America, which is the church that Messiah is part of, the bigger church that Messiah is a part of, has something known as World Hunger. And it's a part of our organization that kind of goes out into the world to serve our neighbor in a bigger context. And we have these partners all across the globe that we work with and that we learn from and that we help and that they help us as well in our own faith. And so what's really exciting to me about this curriculum is that we'll get to explore some of those stories. So each day we will also be focusing on a different country that the ELCA partners with. And we'll get to hear stories of what is happening in that country, about what the work that people are doing in that country, and the work that ELCA and our church gets to be a part of. ELCA actually works in partnership with over 60 different countries around the globe, which is a lot of different countries, a lot of different cultures and contexts. So what we're going to do during our VBS week is we're just going to focus in on 6 of those countries. We're going to talk about Rwanda, Malawi, Central African Republic, Japan, Colombia, and the United States, because the ELCA World Hunger does work here in our own country as well. And so each day what we'll get to do is we'll get to hear a story from each of those countries about some of the work that's being done there that the ELCA gets to be a part of. And then during our craft and our snack time, we'll also get to learn a craft and a snack from that country. So a craft that maybe you would see if you went there, or a food that might be eaten in that country. And we're going to do our own little version of it so that we get to learn more about the cultures that we're studying. So to wrap things up, I am so excited to get to share VBS with you this year. I know it will be different and that we can't be together, but we have a lot of great stuff planned for you. I have volunteers from our congregation and Friends of Messiah, even someone who is currently living in the Philippines, have all sent in videos to share with you, and they are all so great, and I cannot wait for you to see them. So how this is going to work is starting August 2nd, I will upload a number of videos each day to the Messiah website and to our social media pages that will provide you with prayers and story time and crafts and snacks and songs and little Bible studies. And you'll get to go through these videos with your family at home and kind of do them on your own speed so that we can all still do VBS even though we're apart. So the one thing is that for those crafts and the snacks that I mentioned, there are some supplies that you may not necessarily have laying around the house, and we want to make sure that we provide those for you so that you can do them from home. So we'll be providing some Vacation Bible School kits that you can pick up that Sunday. But in order to make sure we have enough kits, we need you to register. So please go to the website and register today so that we can get one of those kits reserved for you. And I can't wait to see you August 2nd for VBS.